This is the first public hearing on needs and performance requests for the Year 3 Annual Action Plan for the year 2022 to 2023. Today is January 5th, 2022, 6 p.m. Tonight's public hearing is being held to provide residents of Fall River and all interested parties the opportunity to express their views on the following: housing and community development needs, the needs of the homeless, the development of proposed activities, including activities related to community housing development organizations, and various program performance in the City of Fall River. The City of Fall River Consolidated Plan was approved by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on June 10th, 2020. That document identified community development, housing, and homeless needs, and a schedule of strategies to address them over a 5-year period, a time frame that will come to a conclusion on June 30th, 2025. We are developing an annual action plan that will present a schedule of activities and projects to be undertaken during this, the third year of that 5-year cycle, that are designed to meet and address the needs in conformance with established strategies. Testimony, statements, letters, requests for funding, and petitions submitted at tonight's hearing will be used in development of that annual action plan for the program year commencing July 1, 2022. Completed requests for funding must be submitted to the Fall River Community Development Agency no later than January 26, 2022. That's January 26, 2022. Copies of the request for funding forms are available at the sign-in table at the office of the Fall River Community Development Agency, One Government Center on the 6th floor, and on the City of Fall River municipal website, which is www.fallriverma.org. A summary of the proposed annual action plan is to be published on February 25th, 2022 in the Herald News and Au Journal. It will also be made available for public review at the office of the Fall River Community Development Agency. Another public hearing has been scheduled for March 9th, 2022 at 6 p.m. here in the City Council chambers to afford residents the opportunity to review and comment on the proposed Year 3 Annual Action Plan. Residents will have until March 28th, 2022 to submit additional comments. All statements received during this review period will be considered in development of the City of Fall River's Year 3 Annual Action Plan. According to the submission timetable, copies of the plan and pertinent related informational materials will be submitted to the City Council by April. The City Council will consider enactment of a resolution authorizing Mayor Paul Coogan to file the Year 3 Annual Action Plan with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on or about May 4th, 2022. Year 48 of the Fall River Community Development Block Grant Program, Year 31 of the Home Program, and Year 36 of the Emergency Solutions Grant Program are scheduled to begin July 1, 2022. The City of Fall River anticipates receiving approximately $2,938,000 for eligible CDBG program activities, $1,053,000 for home program activities, and around $250,000 for ESG program activities. This estimation assumes the city will be level funded for the upcoming program year. Federal regulations require that citizens be provided information concerning the amounts of funds that will be available and the range of activities that may be undertaken. This and additional information was furnished in display advertisements in the following locations: the Fall River Herald News and Au Journal, cable TV, and the City of Fall River municipal website. The format of this public hearing will be to allow participants the opportunity to express their views of the city's housing, community development needs, and the needs of the homeless, and our program performances, and to submit requests for funding. Prepared statements will be accepted. Persons wishing to speak have been asked to sign a separate speaker sheet and will be called to testify. Each speaker should state his or her name and address, and if appropriate, the agency or organization that they represent. Before we begin the proceedings and testimony, I'd like to acknowledge the following statements that have been received by the Fall River Community Development Agency. There are letters of support that were received for the Fall River Community Housing Resource Board and requests for funding for People Incorporated for the People Incorporated Preschool, the Jobs for Fall River Incorporated for Economic Development, and we also received a letter from Community Development Recreation, Greater Fall River Recreation. So tonight, we have a couple speakers. I'd like to ask Bill Perkins from People Incorporated to come down.
Good evening, Mr. Dion. Bill Perkins, 11 Algerine Street, Berkeley, Mass. Also with People Incorporated, and I'm here, first off to thank you and the CDA staff and services for the partnership that we've enjoyed over the last several years when we began to take over the operation of the preschool formerly operated by the city. The partnership that we've had has allowed us to enhance services that are not funded under the Department of Early Education and Care funding. Last couple of years, we've been able to use that funding to support income-eligible children and families with a licensed social worker, and that's been essential to the success of many of those children and families as we, help them with referrals in the community as well. Our application intends to continue that service into fiscal year 2023, and again, we are very grateful for our past partnership and look forward to a continued relationship. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Rui from Catholic Social Services. Rui, you want to come down and say a few words? Is it Pereira? Oh, that's Rosa. Hi, Rui. Yeah, you can take the mask off if you want.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have a prepared statement. But first, Rui Rosa. I work for Catholic Social Services at Fall River. Do you want my personal address or
No.
business address? Okay,
Yeah.
1600 Bay Street in Fall River. Like I said, I have a prepared statement. If you don't mind, I can just read it off. So, dear Mr. Dion, Catholic Social Services at Fall River is submitting this request to continue to administer the HUD's Emergency Solutions Grant awarded through the Fall River Community Development Agency for fiscal year 2023. Over the years, CSS has worked collaboratively with FRCDA to ensure the proper execution of this contract in terms of both financial and regulatory compliance. ESG funds are targeted specifically for households living at the extremely low income level, below 30% of the area median income. According to the latest census data, 19.7% of the population in Fall River lives below the poverty line, a number that is higher than the national average, which is 12.3%. These households are the most vulnerable to becoming homeless due to the fiscally fragile situations that they already find themselves in. The ongoing economic challenges brought on by the pandemic continues to put pressure on their cost of living. More recently, concerns about the overall increase in inflation have exacerbated the disparate impact already faced by the city's low and moderate income residents. The ESG assistance at least aims to alleviate the housing burden for this cohort. For fiscal year 2022, which is the current award period, the coordinated entry system has received an average of 8 calls per day from Fall River residents seeking financial assistance. The call volume has been steadily increasing since the eviction moratorium finally expired at the end of September 2021. The Southeast Housing Court is beginning to clear its backlog of cases. In the first 6 months of the current grant period, CSS has been able to assist 16 households with ESG financial assistance. We work collaboratively with other providers in the area, including the Fall River Housing Authority, Southeast Housing Court, the Tenancy Preservation Program, and First Step In to ensure eligible households in need of ESG services are identified, referred, and assessed for eligibility as quickly as possible. As an entitlement city, Fall River aims to develop a viable urban community by providing decent housing and by expanding economic opportunities, principally for its low and moderate income residents. Over the years, Catholic Social Services has been honored to partner with FRCDA in carrying out this mutual mission. We hope to continue this relationship and welcome the opportunity to continue to receive ESG homeless prevention and rapid rehousing funding under this year's RFF. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruin. Thank you. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Do I have anybody else that would like to speak on any programs or anything? No? Well, that concludes our public hearing for this evening. Again, there's some important dates to remember, that our RFF is request for funding must be submitted to the Community Development Agency no later than January 26th of 2022. And then on February 25th of 2002, a summary of the proposed action plan will be published in the Herald News and Ozarnell. So please remember those two dates, very important. And one other last date is a public hearing. Another public hearing will be held on March 9th of 2022, where residents will be afforded the opportunity to review and comment on the proposed Year 3 annual plan. So keep those dates available. If any questions arise, you can please contact the Fall River Community Development Agency. Our phone number is 508-679-0131. You can also see us on the web at www.fallriverma.org. And that concludes the public hearing for this evening. Thank you.